of this tournament here today. The bottom left-hand side, our red Terran player is INnoVation. And to the top right-hand side, the yellow Protoss is MacSed. Port, I don't believe you don't want your own Christmas tree. Dude, I actually really want to know where these posters are as well, by the way. I have looked high and low for them. You know what? Oh my god, I've just had like a moment of realization as to where they might be. You know what? I'm going to write on my hand somewhere to check for them. Holy shit, this might be 2,000 IQ plays by Wardy. I just thought where they could be. And I know I said this the other day and they weren't there, but I actually think I've got a pretty good idea this time. INnoVation proxies his two buildings over here to try and play a little bit of a kind of fuse and setup to get this started. You saw this in the very first game of the day against Creator. They're not in my office. They're not in my office. They're in my... I think they might be in a folder at home. And I haven't seen them because they've been put in a folder that I don't actually really look into at all, ever. But it would actually kind of make sense for them to be in there because it's big enough for them. And it would be somewhere for them to have been put while I was moving for them to stay very safe and out of the way, you know? So maybe they're in there. It's a real possibility. I actually think that might be the only place they could be because I don't know where else they could actually be. But that folder is also usually not got anything useful in it, so it's like not somewhere... Yeah, I actually think I know now. I actually think I know. I'm just surprised you didn't want to put me through the pain of going to pick up, you know, get my own tree. Like, you know, I was going to literally go out, find a tree, and bring it in the office for you. What can I say? You're not sure you're ready to hope again? Well, dude, you'll know tonight when I'm done casting. I'll go home and I'm going to check straight away. If I don't find it, I will send you mine. Okay? If I don't find it, I'll just send you mine. Like, my copy. The one that I kept for myself. So... I'll try. I feel bad, man. Like, it started out as a bit of a meme that I didn't send it, then it actually lost the poster tubes, then it actually lost the posters. Like, how does that even happen? Both players expanding here. Obviously, INnoVation has a little bit of a faster bit of aggression going in. Will with the first Cyclone pick up a Stalker kill already. Oracle comes out, and that Cyclone doesn't have a lock-on available. And when it does, the Oracle's already dealt too much damage. So the Cyclone going down here with another one moving across the map, looking to apply a little bit further pressure, looking to see what it can do. How do you counter this? I mean, not having your Stalker so far forwards. I mean, a shield battery being finished in time would keep the Stalker alive against the first Cyclone, and by the time there's more Cyclones, you have more units, so you can actually deal with it. So you kind of counter it just by doing what MacSed's doing. I mean, he lost a Stalker. I mean, really, if you think about it, a Stalker for a Cyclone isn't even that great. So, it's, for, you know, in terms of INnoVation. So, honestly, really, INnoVation, it's, you know, it's like, you know, you just do what's being done right now. It holds perfectly. Phoenix lift up the Cyclones. Very good as well, so... It's pretty reasonable hold. Oracle and a couple of Phoenix still up in the natural expansion here as we do see the Banshee on the way out of this starport. A couple of Marines starting to meander out as well. Stalker should have walked up the ramp. Yeah, that's also a way for it to have maybe broken the lock on there. There's a lot of things that could have been done just a little bit differently on the first interaction, but even still, it turns out kind of okay for MacSed because he did kill the Cyclone. I still think the Cyclone going down, he hasn't really done that much damage with it just yet. For Phoenix and an Oracle coming across the map down to the bottom left-hand side. More Widow Mines on the way out, and the Robo facility just finishing up, and now an Observer being chrono boosted out. Stim gets started as well. Man, Cloak Banshees are so popular in TvP now. I'm surprised every time a Cloak Banshee gets made at the moment when it shows up and actually gets damage done, because it feels as though it feels as though it's already doing damage. Like, you know what I mean? It's It's kind of crazy. Anyways, Banshee up through the top side. As we do see INnoVation is going to go for a little bit of a push. 2 Cyclones, Marines, and Widowmites. I guess I wasn't very clear. I meant it's kind of crazy because it just feels like Terran players are doing this so often now. It's surprising the Protoss players are still being caught off guard by it. I guess Banshees are just that unit where even if you are somewhat prepared, you can still, if you're a very good player, kind of cause disruption elsewhere and create opportunity for the Banshee. I mean, right now, this is just MacSed being completely unprepared. There's not even a shield battery in the mineral line. You see the Oracle getting taken down by the Cyclone, lock on Widowmites and burrowing. The Oracle did have the Revelation on it. The Oracle going down is actually huge because now there's no detection for the Banshee. Oh no, this Banshee's already picked up 7 kills and counting. This is not looking pretty at all. MacSed doesn't even wait for the fight. Just types out GG. INnoVation takes game number 1 a little bit too easy. Does Wardy have to stay shaved all the time now? I don't have to stay shaved all the time. I shave like once a week or a little bit more often. Top right, our red Terran player is INnoVation. And to the lower left hand side, the yellow Protoss is MacSed. I noticed today that there's no lag. It's just complete coincidence. I mean, that's the Korean server. Some days the Korean server lag is really awful. Other days the Korean server lag is actually completely fine, completely okay. And we have a, we have a smooth sailing day. No one mentions it once, so it's just really back and forth. There's really, again, nothing we can do about it until Blizzard tries to identify what's going on there and helps us out a little bit. Probe from MacSed hops up into the main base and just here to have a little bit of an initial scout around. Are there going to be replays? Yes, we release all the replays of our events and the majority of things that we cast. New replay pack goes up in maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. Just trying to find a little time where I have some time to get set up, but they'll be coming out very soon to subscribers, and it goes out on the Discord server. So the next replay pack is going to be sick. It's going to have Maru replays, stats, all these plays you've seen today, INnoVation, Bunny. It's going to have some Zest replays in there, Parting replays, Gumiho, Dia, Rogue. It's going to be a really good replay pack, so make sure you get tuned in for that if you like your replays. Every subscription helps to support the stream, of course. Every sub goes a long way to helping out and putting on more tournaments and help me to keep on casting as well, so always appreciated, always goes a long way. This opening here is going to be INnoVation dropping down a hidden Rax factory on the high ground was seen. Obviously the Reaper showed itself as well, so MacSed has a good idea of what's going on. He did go double gas and into a very fast Stargate though, so we'll see what he tries to do with this. A little bit of difference from him. I wonder if this was kind of the plan anyways, or if he was perhaps hoping to do something a little bit different with this. Not sure actually. Because I mean, whether was this his plan originally, or was this just kind of him like seeing this and being like, okay, well maybe I should, how do I respond to this? And get set up right now as we see a Chrono Boost coming down on the Oracle. So Oracle being Chrono Boosted out at the moment. Starport is on its way up in this main base as well. And we do see again the Adept and the Zealot just having a little bit of a wander back and forth on the corner of this main base. Couple probes hop down from MacSed down to low ground T into the natural. Hey lass, thank you so much for gifting out a subscription to June S2. Welcome to the Wardy family. Good to have you on board, and thank you Alas for the sub gift. Thank you so much. Those are Zealots. There's a Zealot and an Adept, right? That was patrolling. One Zealot, one Adept. Bit of both. Cyclone is going to push this Oracle away right away, so no issue there. Is INnoVation defending pretty well. Fast expansion, not really looking for anywhere near as much pressure as he applied in the last game at all. What's INnoVation going to transfer to after Cyclones? Generally after a few Cyclones you go into maybe a tank or two defensively, but you just kind of move the factory to the side, build a reactor and go into Widow Mines while your extra barracks come up and you go into Stimpack or so. The Cyclones are just still very good defensively early game, but after the early game defense, again, obviously you have to kind of change it up a little bit. And kind of go from there. By the way, I actually just checked my email, but the Colonel 41 actually made a purchase through the Harry's sponsorship, so thank you so much to the Colonel 41. I appreciate it. I'll get you a decoration on the tree as well. I just hadn't checked my email yet, so I hadn't seen it coming through. Thank you so much for that, dude. Appreciate it. Alright, well, 2 Cyclones and a Medevac. I'm going to start pushing down to the bottom left-hand side, and they are going to be trying to get in range to lock onto this Oracle, the few Phoenix, a couple Stalkers or so. And INnoVation still being aggressive here, Cyclones and Marines, but I'm not sure if there's really much of a long-term plan to really rely on this. Again, back at home, factory moves to the reactor, starts up Widow Mines, the extra racks come down, Stim gets going. Kind of what we were expecting here so far. And there's that robotics facility on the way up in the main base. As INnoVation comes around, out into the center of the map, and again, more Widow Mines, more Marines. Still joining up to push across into that bottom left-hand side. So with this getting ready to go, and again, just going to be seeing this push through. 4 Stalkers, Adept, and the Zealot. Still just there to defend, and the few Phoenix continue to come up here too. I think with this many Cyclones, going into more Phoenix is always beneficial. I think it's very hard for it to be it's very hard for it to turn out to be a bad choice. I think Phoenix in general are always very good in TvP. I mean, when I personally see Phoenix, I always feel as though they do very well against me. I mean, I suck against Phoenix, I'm not going to lie, but I do feel like Phoenix usually do very well, and there's always potential with Phoenix. Like, it's not just a unit you can make because it's like, okay, this can help me, and then it just sort of falls apart for you. So, yeah. Just going to see the Phoenix lifting up another couple of Marines. Just a little bit of damage being done there, and you're going to see the Cyclones coming in to go for Oracle, just get the kill. Why should you disable auto-lock on Cyclones? I mean, a lot of people keep it on, but it is a lot better to... sometimes it can stop you auto-locking in a fight where you actually want to manually target a certain unit down, for example. So then it can be a lot better. I think it's worth keeping auto-lock on for the most part, because then you're going to never miss a lock-on. But also, sometimes you do want to turn it off if you're going into a fight and you know you're going to control the Cyclones, you want to lock onto something in particular. For example, here, that's an auto-lock-on, right? So that's very good to have the auto-lock-on enabled. But if INnoVation was pushing into MacSed's natural, he might want to target the Immortal first, and having auto lock-on might just mean that if he isn't quite ready and Adept wanders in, his lock-on goes off, and then he's got to wait for the cooldown. So that's probably the reason. Phoenix going to lock on here, and they are going to be picked off pretty quickly. As we're going to be seeing the rest of the bio coming across. I mean, losing the Phoenix is actually kind of a big deal. He lost 6 Phoenix, and not a single Cyclone was actually taken down at the end. So the reason he made the Phoenix never actually kind of came through. He never really was able to deliver with that. And now just continuing to push down across the map. INnoVation is looking very good with a bunch of Medevacs, a couple of Cyclones, a group of Widow Mines, and the rest of this Bioforce, which is just going to push in towards a third base. I mean, Stalkers, Sentries, a few Zealots, all going to be in trouble pretty swiftly here, honestly. And as we do move into this, a couple of lock-ons already. Widow Mines burrowing. The first Colossus is here. So far, so good on the Colossus. The Widow Mines unburrow and reburrow. The force field comes down. Somehow the Cyclone gets lifted and saved at the last moment, though. And now we're going to see some units trying to move forwards. Widow Mines are going to try and drop on top of this army, and they are going to get burrowed. And they're going to start targeting down things such as the Colossus. They force it more forwards into the bio, and INnoVation just has too much. Again, MacSed, he makes these early game Phoenix, and he just doesn't do